This week's episode of Life Planning 101 originally aired in 2021. Please enjoy. Welcome to Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services in Eastland, Texas. Tune in every week as we share important information to help you and your family live life on purpose. Insurance, investments, legacy and tax planning, and much more. All covered now on Life Planning 101.
Welcome into Life Planning 101. This is Angela Robinson with Kennedy Financial Services here in the great town of Eastland, Texas. And boy, do we have a treat for you and a treat for me today. We have Mr. Mike Ahern. He is currently an IT specialist at Kennedy Computer Solutions Incorporated here in Eastland, Texas as well, also known as our IT guy. And boy, has he saved my bacon a few times. So really excited to have him on with us. And Mike is very specialized. And I know many of you that have worked with me personally know I know little to nothing about technology. So even setting up for this recording today for Life Planning 101, I had to get basically two IT people to help me. But this should be quite the treat, because I know we live in a world that things are changing so fast, and where they're changing the fastest is technology. And we face threats that I think we don't even know exist every single day, because we have these little handheld devices, we have computers, we have all this stuff. And, you know, the fact that cybersecurity is out there and a very profitable industry should be a good indicator that we all need it. And so that is what our expert, Mr. Ahern, is here to talk to us about today. So, Mike, thank you for being on the call with us.
Thank you, Angela. I was going to correct you on my last name, but you got it right the second time. So.
Oh, did I mispronounce it the first time? I apologize. I was practicing that beforehand. So there we go. And I just always know you as Mike. I've even got you in my phone as Mike. I should have you in my phone as emergency Mike, really.
Well, you're only the millionth person to do it, so no worries.
Yeah, very good. Well, you are very important to us. And I know he's very important to Kennedy Computer Solutions too. So Mike, he has, and correct me if I get any of this wrong, but Bachelor of Science in IT and a decade of experience in IT. And before you were at Kennedy, you were with a VoIP engineer with NextLink. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, that's how I was a VoIP engineer at NextLink when I met Chance and came over.
Okay. All right. And for those of you that don't know the connection here, and you might be thinking Kennedy Computer Solutions, Okay. So Kennedy Computer Solutions used to be owned by the other brother, not Aaron Kennedy, but Garrett Kennedy. And he's completely sold out to his cousin, Chance Isom, that his wife also worked at Kennedy Financial Services, Miss Jennifer Isom, and man, is she sorely missed. But I know she's an intricate part of helping Kennedy Computer Solutions grow, and you guys are still like family to us. So we are grateful for that. And I think this is the most notable part of your background and resume, is that you are married. You do have a happy wife. So as my husband would say, you have a happy life.
Yep.
And 4 children. I don't know how you do that.
With a happy wife.
With a happy wife, yep. And a deacon at your local church and a preacher. So
Yep.
Yeah, you stay busy. So you know what? It is really impressive is I know technology and I know myself. When I have tech issues, I'm not a happy person. So you deal with unhappy people all the time, and you still find Jesus in your heart. How the heck do you do that?
With Jesus in my heart. No, I understand frustration. I mean, we all get frustrated. If I have something wrong with my car and I got to call a mechanic, I'm typically frustrated too. So I think when you're working in your niche and you know how to fix people's problems, it allows you to mitigate a lot of that frustration that they initially have. Luckily, we have really great clients that know that we can handle their questions and get them solutions. So they're not always, like, at least not very pointedly mad at us directly. So it's not as bad as I've had before.
Right, right. Very good. Well, we're very grateful for you. That is no doubt. And we're very grateful that all of our Life Planning 101 family is going to get to hear from you today. So the topics at hand, I'm going to let you know, and then we're going to take a short break, and you're not going to want to miss any of these when we come back. The first of which is threats rising after COVID. Ooh, that's kind of a scary one. Securing your passwords, how to create them, and why they are important. Whew, passwords. That's just a nasty sore subject for me. So I think I'm excited to hear that. I think maybe I'm not. And number 3, email security, the easiest way for threats, and physical. Who would think about this anymore? Physical access to systems and serious threats that creates. So here on Life Planning 101 today, we're going to have a little twist. Mr. Mike Ahern, IT specialist from Kennedy Computer Solutions, and we are excited to have him. You're not going to want to miss it when we come back. Welcome back to Life Planning 101. This is Angela Robinson with Kennedy Financial Services, joined by a special guest from another Kennedy business, Kennedy Computer Solutions here in Eastland, Texas, Mr. Mike Ahern, and he is talking about some threats when it comes to technology. So, Mike, after COVID, what is this? There's actually rising threats. Did people just get bored at home and come up with new ways to hack a system, or what happened?
We're still wondering why, but I believe that could be some of the reason. The amount of cybersecurity threats and attacks worldwide went up exponentially last year, and it's continued to grow since COVID started around the beginning of 2020. Just for example, the amount of phishing attacks went up from in January of 2019, we were looking at about like 1 million a year, and it more than tripled since then. So
oh my gosh.
We're talking, it went up small percentages for, since forever. And then all of a sudden it just became an exponential increase.
And if I remember right, so phishing is like someone sends you an email and it contains something to click on, and you click on it and then dum. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's typically either a link to click on or something to download, like an attachment. And either the attachment will infect your machine with some form of malware, or the most common ones we see is a link that you click on where it'll say it's from your bank. You click on it and they want you to put it'll take you to a site that looks like your bank's login. It'll say, please log in for this information. And what happens is when you put your username and password in, whoever the threat agent that sent that phishing attack to you now has your login for your bank. And then typically the more advanced ones will actually redirect you to your bank once you log in. So to you, it seems like a legitimate email and you logged into your bank and you don't even think twice about it. But in the background, now somebody is selling your bank information on the dark web, and you're hours or days away from having your identity stolen and getting to live through that crisis.
Yeah, which I guess you can actually do see that going up because everybody's trying to do more and more online. And I know if you're a goofball like me, you just don't know what you don't know, and you're trying to filter your way around. Or you sit there and you're trying to X out of something and get out of it, just get out of it, just get out of it. And you click and click and click, and you're in trouble. That's not a good thing to do. Learn that the hard way.
And they tend to prey on where it used to be mostly where they preyed on elderly. We've seen it more where now they're focusing on people our age that are super busy. And, if you're getting hundreds of emails a day, to be able to consciously look at each email with that lens is increasingly harder as the more busy you are. So,
wow.
We get busy, we click on stuff, we pop passwords into things without thinking about it, and then you're caught.
Yeah.
You took the bait.
Right. So what other agents have been rising after COVID?
Everything. I mean, you look at any kind of hacking has gone up since COVID. We're seeing a lot of other malwares and viruses being deployed on people's computers. The direct denial of service attacks have gone up drastically. Any way somebody can break into somebody's system or do something has gone way up. And like you said, it may be because these people are just bored now and they can't leave their house, so they're just spending more time what they quote unquote working, you know.
Yeah, you need to add them to your church list. So
For real, right?
for real, right? Yeah. So what do we do about it, Mr. Expert?
Well, there's a lot of things. The number one thing that we tell everybody, the most important thing you can do in general is to turn on two-factor authentication on anything that you log into. So what that does is, say you're logging into your bank account, you put your username and password in, and it requires, it'll send a text message to your phone or whatever. There's other ways to do it, but then you have to put that code in. And so it seems simple and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but what that does is that prevents anyone else in the world that has your username and password from logging into your account without also having access to your cell phone or whatever, your thumbprint or however you decide to do it. But just that little step can be enough to circumvent a vast majority of these phishing attacks. The main thing to remember is that a lot of these phishing attacks are broad spectrum where they're blasting out 1 million emails to random people, and they're just hoping that a handful of these work out.
Right.
So if you can just put one hurdle in their way, it's not worth their time to try to circumvent that hurdle. So they'll just move on to somebody else, which is unfortunate for other people, but we can't help everybody. We can only help the people that we can help, you know.
Right. Well, it's like in our business, we tell people we can only help people that want to be helped. So we're really hoping that the reason we're having you on Life Planning 101 today is this is something that's relevant to all of us, and we all need to pay attention. I know for me, thinking about going into 2022, I've already kind of started working on my resolution list. And one of the things is to slow down. So I always get irritated by those two-factor authentications because you want to go faster. Oh, that's just taking up my time. But in reality, it's a great time just to take a deep breath, meditate for a minute while you wait on that text. So I like that.
Yep. And it will solve a lot of problems as far as unauthorized access to anything that you have a username and password for.
Right. Very good. Well, you're talking about, securing passwords. Is that the realm, or is there more to the story with securing passwords?
Oh, definitely more to the story. So one of the worst thing you can do is use the same password for multiple things. So the first thing somebody does is once they gain access to a username and password, they're going to try that username and password on anything that you have an account on, because a lot of people use the same passwords for things. And so
we can't remember, Mike. That's
okay. So I have a solution for that, because that's what we do.
Good. Kennedy
what you do
Solutions, walking advertisement right here. Okay.
That's what we do, solutions. So, for example, what I do is I use a free software called Bitwarden that is a software database that is hosted on my computer. It's not, the passwords I put in there are encrypted even at Bitwarden, so you have to have access to my devices. It's not just something that's in the cloud. Mm-hmm. And basically, you remember one password to unlock your passwords, and then inside of there, they have password generators that will create super long random passwords for you. Mm-hmm. So those are the actual passwords you use on your stuff. So for example,
work on your like your iPhone or your
it's on my phone. Yeah, okay. And it's all like on my phone, I use my fingerprint to open it. Yeah, it's fantastic. But the point of it is not to. You can't think of it as a place to just stick all your easy passwords. Mm-hmm. What you do is you use whatever your like LastPass. There's several options. Mm-hmm. I believe y'all use that RoboForm. It's another form of the same thing. But what you do is you use that to create super hard passwords that are, 18 characters long, completely random, uppercase, lowercase numbers, and special characters. Okay. And that's the password you actually put into your bank account and stuff that are theoretically at this point unhackable through brute force. So basically, if a computer is just trying everything it can think of, it would take it 1 trillion years to break a 18-character password that's completely random.
Nice.
So, but the thing is, the problem that this generates is that there's been times in my life that I've had to log into stuff that you can't copy and paste to.
Yeah.
And so then then it becomes cumbersome. You're having to type out this long password that's all crazy. But it's pretty rare, and it's worth it in the long run to know that the passwords I have on my things, unless somebody gains access to my Bitwarden, which would require not only the 20-character password that I type in to get to it, but also my thumbprint and a text message through two-factor authentication. The passwords that I use on the web on a daily basis are theoretically unbreakable.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great information.
And you only have to remember one password. That's the best part.
Yes.
You just make one long password, remember it, and then I probably have several hundred passwords in mine that if I couldn't remember all those passwords,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, this is amazing information. We're so glad that you're here on Life Planning 101 today. When we come back, you're not going to want to miss more from our IT expert, Mr. Mike Ahern, and he is going to be talking about email security and physical access to your system. Gosh, how is that even a threat again? I don't know. We're going to find out. You don't want to miss it when we come back. Welcome back to the last segment of Life Planning 101. I'm going to tell you, if you have missed this show, you need to start over and you need to hear the whole thing, because we have an IT specialist here from Kennedy Computer Solutions in Eastland, Texas, Mr. Mike Ahern, and he is giving some incredible, valuable information that could just save your bacon, literally as much as bacon costs these days. So we're talking about cybersecurity threats and how to protect yourself. And we've talked about the rising agents since COVID. We've talked about securing your passwords and then further securing your passwords and further securing your passwords. And then now we're going to talk about email security, the easiest way in for threats. So, Mike, what do we need to know?
Yep. So the first thing you need to know is that when I say that email is the easiest way in for threats, it's very true. You can have your computer just as locked down as you want with the 100-character passwords and the Fort Knox of safes, and people get your emails come through and you click on something and none of that matters. We all use email. The amount of email going in and out and on a daily basis is staggering. And it's the easiest way in for somebody that is just sitting in their basement wanting to hack people's computers.
You got to wonder if someone's sitting in their basement wanting to hack people's computers, how they actually get to enjoy any of the fruits of their theft. It's crazy.
Right. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, kind of freaky. Yeah, so it's the easiest way for threats in. Obviously, we talked about phishing. What other things do people need to know?
Well, something that kind of stacks on top of phishing is social engineering. So this used to be way more prevalent than it is, but it's still used, where you might have an email that is completely not malicious in intent. In as far as the email server is concerned, so it'll slip through your email security, but it'll say something like, "This is so-and-so from, this financial institution. Please give us a call at," and it'll have a phone number. You call the person, and it sounds like a legitimate, "Thank you for calling Chase Bank. This is so-and-so." And then they talk to you, and they use social engineering, which is them talking to you and you giving them information over the phone or whatever. And so maybe if you have really good email security, and like y'all have recently started learning about, and it's blocking a lot of malicious emails coming in, sometimes emails can slip in that have no malicious intent in the email other than a phone number to call. And then when you call, you end up giving whoever's on the other line all the information they need, because it sounds like, your Uncle Kurt down the street, and he sounds like a good guy. And so you trust him without any kind of verification.
Wow.
And how many times have you told somebody, said, "Well, what's your social security number?" And you just give it to them. Wow. And then you don't even you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be like, "Well, let me see how can you verify who you are before I give you that?" When we really should be doing that.
Right. Absolutely. That's so freaky. And I know, especially we've had some families over the past that called and said, "I think I just messed up." And it's a real deal. And you get wrapped up in that real quick without even noticing what you've done. So yeah, slow down. 2022, we're going to slow down. We're going to slow down and look and read and do a little bit more and make sure we have all these securities. We're going to call Mike Ahern at Kennedy Computer Solutions.
Right. And people think that, people hear about phishing and it sounds like this thing that other people deal with. But for example, I'm looking at this website right now and it says that last year, businesses worldwide lost $17,700 every minute due to phishing attacks.
Whoa.
Every minute for the year. So this is not something that's just happening once in a while. Yeah, $17,000 a minute over the course of a year. So, I mean, it's not something that is just like happens to other people, so I don't need to worry about it. This is happening to everyone, and it's happening at an extreme level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what in the world? Physical access. I mean, if everybody's in COVID in their basement, nobody gets physical access.
Okay, so physical access, right. So I can tell you if somebody with my training can have physical access to your computer without somebody looking for, 90 seconds to 3 minutes, I could pretty much have anything off of your computer that I wanted.
Wow.
Regardless of, physical access, it's like having somebody try to steal your identity over the phone or with a phishing email or one of all the ways we talked versus them having your wallet for a few minutes or having your purse for a few minutes. Yeah. That's the difference in physical.
I kind of feel like I need to sing the James Bond theme for you. And, that's impressive. 3 minutes, get anything off of your computer I need. So, wow.
And people that are, and that's just, people that really do this and are serious about it, they can have a flash drive they can stick in your USB port. And once it uploads, then they just have a back door and then they can just get in and out of your computer whenever they want.
So what do you do about that? Like, what if you have a party for Christmas at your house and you have some strangers? What do you do about that?
Well, you limit physical access to any computers or things like that. So if you have a computer in a bedroom, you just keep the bedroom separate and then keep it locked away. Or hopefully you have friends at the party that aren't going to do things like that. Something else you can do, right? Something we do for all of our clients is you have 2 separate Wi-Fis. So, the idea of having a guest Wi-Fi at home seems kind of weird, but having a guest Wi-Fi versus having just an open Wi-Fi where all of your computers and stuff are on the same Wi-Fi can go a long ways. If somebody only has guest Wi-Fi and it's separated in your router, they don't necessarily have access to your computer remotely sitting on your couch,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, I'm going to tell you what, I think we need to make this annual deal with updates because this was incredible. I just don't listen well, but I've learned more in the last 20 plus minutes than I've learned all year from an IT standpoint. Maybe it's just that I don't look well, but anyway, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
We truly appreciate all you do for Kennedy Financial Services and what you do to help protect our clients in essence. And we know that you guys are just awesome to work with, and we just appreciate your expertise in so many ways.
Well, thank you, and same for y'all. We love y'all, and we love working for y'all.
Well, that's a good thing. We'll keep it that way. So thank all of our listeners today for joining in to another session of Life Planning 101. We are going to have an awesome show next week. I'm going to give you a little title hint and a little teaser, and it's called Are We There Yet? So you're not going to want to miss it next week on Life Planning 101. God bless you all. Have a great week, and go Cowboys.
Thank you for joining us for Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services. If you have questions, you can email them to lifeplanning@kennedy-financial.com. Don't forget to learn how our sister company can assist you with all of your tax, bookkeeping, and consulting needs. You can find out more at briscoeandassociates.com. Be sure to tune in next week for more Life Planning 101. The opinions expressed herein are those of the firm and are subject to change without notice. The opinions referenced are as of the date of publication and are subject to change due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass. Any opinions, projections, or forward-looking statements expressed herein are solely those of the author, may differ from the views or opinions expressed by other areas of the firm, and are only for general informational purposes as of the date indicated. Securities offered through Calton & Associates Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Smart Money Group LLC. Kennedy Financial Services and Smart Money Group LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by Calton & Associates Incorporated.